listening to the Mark Bradford Alchemy for Life podcast.
A fascinating chat with John McAfee. I'm here with John McAfee. Hi, John.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I am just great. And how are you?
Well, it's the end of my day, so it's perfect. After this interview, I'm free.
Well, that's awesome. I won't, as I promise everyone, I won't keep you longer than an hour. So I normally start by asking what you do, and then we talk about who you are. So if you would just tell people what it is that you do.
Well, on what day? I mean,
Right.
that's a very difficult question for me. I mean, for the past 50 years, I have done as I please. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, all right? If I'm doing something which no longer interests me, I'll walk away from it. If something wanders by that's more interesting than what I'm doing, I'll follow to do that, because it's how I've always lived. So right now, what do? We get up in the morning, we go to a coffee shop by the Black Sea here, have a bite of breakfast, then we decide what to do for the rest of the day. That's it.
Well, that's perfect. Well, that sounds like it was actually a very apropos question for you. So I think that's an awesome answer. And as far as your historically, you've done some amazing things, especially your start. I mean, you worked at NASA. You went to UNIVAC, which is amazing, and then even Xerox, and even Lockheed. Yep,
that's true. All of it. I don't know how. I don't know what it was that wove me through that strange and awesome path. That was the path.
What I find is that I seem to be I migrate towards and I'm very attracted to people who are what I call dual brained. And it's people who have this ability to handle logistics, but also have this really strong creative side. And I definitely would use that to describe you as well.
Well, I'm good at logistics to a limited extent. When you give me fewer than a dozen people and a space, I can make a company of some sort. But I'm certainly not the best at it. But when it comes to what company is needed right now, or not company, what product really, fuck the company, what product or service is needed here, now, in this moment. Not yesterday, not last week, not the last time you had an idea. No, today, right now. What's your idea? And if it's the same as yesterday's, then there's something wrong with your plan, because an entire day has intervened. And you should have, hopefully, new information which affects your plan. And I know that sounds like chaos. And to a certain extent it is. But if you can get a dozen like-minded people together, coherently and without too much friction, which is always the problem, then magic will happen. Now, this I know for a fact. This is always the way it's been. When I used to invest in companies, when I, just left McAfee and had more money than God and could not have spent it if I worked hard at it for a lifetime. And then so I invested in companies, but I never invested in a product. I invested in people. I'd find a group of people. I go, fuck me, you guys are actually working together. I don't know what you're going to be doing tomorrow, but I promise you I went in on it. So, and all of my bets were massive successes. And Zone Labs, for example, I put $1 million into Zone Labs at the early stages, and 18 months later, sold the company, Checkpoint Systems, for $400 million. 18 months. That's what I invested in. I had no fucking clue what they were going to want, but I didn't care. I just knew that group of people was fucking smart. And they managed somehow to communicate with each other. Get a bunch of smart people communicate. Some good shit is going to happen.
Well, and that gets back to what you're saying about how it's not the same company the next day, and people can change, but a company is a bit more rigid. So by focusing on the people, you're focusing on the thing that becomes fluid.
Yes, absolutely. Focus on the company. You're investing in an edifice. Who gives a shit? No. I want a piece of the action no matter what you guys do. That's always my contract.
So then,
go ahead.
So
go ahead.
Would you say then that it's easier to invest in a small amount of people than a large amount of people because a small amount is more fluid and it's harder to get a huge group of people to be so like-minded?
I would never invest in a large group of people.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get a coherent and fluid and efficient group of people, more than a dozen, maybe 20, if you're the best fucking manager in the world, which I am close to. But beyond that, it is possible. No, if you're going to invest in a large group of people, you're investing in an established company, and you know you're going to a rate of return of 9.6% every year in terms of dividends, and life will be hunky-dory. If that's what you want, yeah. But if you're looking for excitement, then the unknown, and all you know is that this group of people, and you truly believe because you have spent many, many months with them before you even thought about joining forces. And so you know these bastards are going to stay together. And whatever it is they do, they're going to be successful. Whatever they create is going to be mind-blowing. And that's that in the story. All of it is people and small numbers.
Well, it makes an awful lot of sense to me. Did you also want to mention that you are, just to be clear, you are running for office right now?
Yes, absolutely. President in my second time.
Yes. And you're running as a libertarian, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I noticed that your tagline, at least on your Twitter, says, "Not sure what I'm doing, but something needs to be done."
Yeah, that's correct. I do not know what I'm doing. This is the honest truth. I have never known what I was doing. I'm just swimming with the stream, and hoping there's not a waterfall around the next curve. That's been my life.
And have you encountered any waterfalls, would you say?
Survivable ones, yes, else I wouldn't be here. But ones that I sure as fuck wish I'd known about in advance, right? That would have been very helpful. Did
you want to mention any of those waterfalls?
Well, Jesus, let's look at the one that everybody points to. I mean, I'm a month on the run in the jungles and towns of Belize while an entire army is chasing me with my photograph. Only to escape into Guatemala when we were almost at freedom, and the Vice magazine editor who was with me and who was escaping with me put a photo up with my goddamn location within a few feet. And then we're now on the run in Guatemala, for fuck's sake. That's a waterfall I wish I had known about in advance. I could have prepared better. So.
Right, and the picture that
he go ahead.
The picture that he submitted, actually, people were able to pick up the EXIF data from the photo, which
strip it. What idiot?
Right.
What idiot does shit like that? I mean, you can't anticipate that, can you? I mean, the best laid plans of mice and men, as Shakespeare once said,
yes,
oft go astray. Well, in my experience, they always go astray. Not often, but always. Because these are the things you cannot plan for. And let me tell you, people, the business world is no different. It's just more slippery and more frequent. With your competitors, customers you've got to satisfy, governmental regular fucking relations that impede your ability to do almost anything at all. And that is an environment which is slippery, people. And shit happens which you cannot possibly